Hello everyone, welcome to ChumYums, recipes you can make from your Chum food shelf box. My name is Tina, I'm the baker over at Wusso's Concert Cafe, and today we're making Scotcharoos. So for our ingredients today, 2 cups of light corn syrup. We'll need 2 cups of creamy peanut butter, 2 cups of sugar, and approximately 10 cups of Rice Krispies. For the topping, you'll need 2 cups or 1 bag of butterscotch chips, and 2 cups or 1 bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm also using a 10 by 10 pan for the Scotcharoos today. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the double boiler going, just so your butterscotch and chocolate chips are all melted down and ready to go when you're done with your Scotcharoo project. So just get that water boiling, and you can even throw those chips in right away. You don't have to wait for the water to boil. As long as the boiling water isn't hitting the bottom of the bowl, it's not going to burn. That's why I like the double boiler. In your big pot, turn your heat on as pretty much as low as it can go, because this is what you want to pay the most attention to. These things will burn. Do not walk away from this. If the phone rings, have them leave a message. So this particular container just happens to be exactly 2 cups, which is really convenient. Otherwise, you just measure out 2 cups. So this is an easy recipe because it's 2 cups of this, 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of peanut butter, 2 cups of each of your chips. Really easy to remember. So you put in the corn syrup and then just mix in your sugar. When this gets pretty warm and thin and easy to work with, add your peanut butter. You can add it earlier too, not a big deal, it'll just be harder to stir. So 2 cups of peanut butter. And this is the really important time not to walk away from this. If you've never burned peanut butter, trust me, you don't want to. It's not delicious and it smells terrible. With the double boiler, you want to have a little hot pad because the edge does get pretty warm. But just start stirring the edge, bring it into the center. You'll see it's melting nicely. So leave it be, let it do its thing here. You just pour in your 10 cups of Rice Krispies, and I say about 10 cups because if you want your Rice Krispie bars, these little Scotcharoos, to be kind of thicker and a little harder, go ahead and put a little bit more. If you want them to be gooier and a little shorter, go ahead and put in a little bit less. Whatever works for you. Spin it again. You want to make sure all the Rice Krispies are saturated. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That's what you want to see. If you had a little bit less Rice Krispie, it would be a little bit wetter, a little bit more gooey. But here's our pan. We're going to put the parchment down. If you have a little bit of spray for your pan, some oil spray, you can use that too, just to help it kind of slide out a little bit easier. Don't cut this to fit the square. Leave little holders on the side for yourself. Just kind of tuck it into your corners. And then I just set my pan on the side and tip it over and let gravity do some of the work for me. So once you get I put gloves on because it's such a sticky job and this is still pretty warm. But once you get it all piled into the pan, you want to make it kind of flat and nice so that they're nice bars to cut at the end. So I just kind of take it and tuck it into the corners first. And then make sure the edges are all filled up. And you're going to want to do this when it's still warm. If you wait until it cools down a little bit, it's going to be harder and harder to work with it, because it really does stiffen up quite a bit. But I'll use this for now. Anything with a flat surface. It's just that little extra pressure just to make it a nice flat bar. So it's looking pretty good. The chocolate chips and the butterscotch chips are all melted together, which is what we want to see. And then you just use a spatula and scrape all this yummy stuff on the top. And you can use a smaller spoon, whatever's comfortable for you to spread this out. There we go. Use the tip of your spatula to kind of make it look kind of pretty. Put a little design in the top. So if you have time, you can just leave this and it'll set up at room temperature really nicely in about an hour, hour and a half. If you're in a little bit of a hurry, you can pop it in the fridge. If you pop it in the fridge and it gets all set up, if before you cut it, you want to let it come to room temperature just a little bit, otherwise it'll start to crack when you're cutting it apart. So this is your pan of Scotcharoos. Let this set up so it has a solid top like this one, and then go ahead and cut it however many pieces that you want it to be in. At the cafe, I cut this into 12 pieces, 3 by 4, and it comes out to be about this size. Remember, you can combat hunger in your community by being a hunger hero. To learn more, contact chumduluth.org.